beautiful new week to today's lesson. I'm very glad to see that I've got quite a few kids here this morning, just waiting for, you know me, I'm going to give a minute or so just for some other kids to arrive. They will quickly talk about the assessment that you're doing today, after which we will do the rest of the, sorry for that. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, so we'll quickly talk about the assessment before we start the lesson. I'm actually quite excited about today's lesson because we're actually going to learn about different essays and then do a practice exercise. So that's going to be quite good. Okay, so I see that there's enough kids for me now to start, so let's start this lesson. I'm sorry for the interruptions there. I'm trying to teach with a baby on my lap. It's quite difficult. All right, so let's start. First of all, I've spoken to our HOD, Mrs. Tsele, very helpful lady. She's very passionate about teaching, as I see in her messages, and she actually asked me one thing to do this morning, and that is to confirm your email addresses. So can you please, just in the chat box, just quickly give me your email address. That is so that they could just monitor the assessments as far as I know, and apparently you guys submit it like that, I'm not sure. But just confirm your email address. And then I've also got an answer with regards to report cards. So it seems that you will get report cards at the end of the year. I don't think it's going to be sent to your schools or anything. That's just it's for you. So you will be getting marks for this assessment as well. And that's why I don't want you guys to be scared, actually, because you guys are grade 7 because you made it till grade 7. So you are absolutely capable of doing your work. All right. So you are going to do your your assessment today. And I want to know if there is any questions before we start this lesson. Are you all okay? Are you able to access everything so far? How are you guys doing? Okay, I don't see any questions. Can I quickly just ask, it's only Molie who gave me his email address now. Minas, Vizana, Boipelu, you guys, please confirm your email address to me quickly. I would appreciate that. It's very important. Okay, just before we go on again, is there any questions about the Afrikaans assessment today? Are you guys okay? Is there something that I quickly need to explain to you guys again, or what's up? Were you able to access your previous assessments and so on and so forth? Okay, guys, I'm quickly just writing them down. Okay, so Moulay says Afrikaans was not there yet because it's only been written today. So I'm sure that it will be uploaded today. So as far as I also could understand, the system actually marks it automatically. And then after that, we'll just go through some of the longer questions tomorrow. So that is what's going to happen in tomorrow's class as well. Okay, so then I've got 3 email addresses here. You guys need to confirm your email address with me as we go on through the lesson. Okay, so very lekker lesson today. So Friday we actually spoke about the writing process, die skryfproses. Vandag kyk ons na die verskillende tipes opstelle. Nou ek lees vir jou gou hierso. Skryf is 'n belangrike deel van ons alledaagse lewe. Dit moet natuurlik ook weet, jy moet dan natuurlik ook weet wat die verskillende tekste behels. Die les gaan ons bietjie meer kyk van die verskillende opstelle. So guys, in other words, writing is something that you will do up until probably the day you're not here anymore. Because whether you write with your hand or whether you write with in your brain, it's words and you're going to use it a lot. So guys, you need to know what the different types of essays are, especially for the rest of your schooling and your career. All right, so here we go. Creativity is intelligence having fun. Now, isn't that true? Mr. Albert Einstein said that creativity is intelligence having fun. All right, so now we're going to look at the different types of essay. Does ma'am have my email? Minaz, yeah, you said Nazia H. Sali. I got that one. So, yeah, I've got those email addresses. I don't think I've got Vizana's, Boipelu. Guys, must confirm it, please. All right, so then let's go on. The first type of essay we get is what we call a verhalende essay or a narrative essay. Now, guys, this is literally what the name says. It is a story, or essay that tells us a story. For instance, it tells us a story of something or someone. It is usually also beskrywend, descriptive. Ons gebruik baie byvoeglike naamwoorde en bywoorde, maar moet nie te veel gebruik nie. Okay, guys, so in other words, just there, it is a type of essay where we tell a story. That is where the narrative part comes from. But you also explain a lot in this essay. Describe, in other words. And then we usually use words such as adverbs, which is byvoeglike naamwoorde, or no, not adverbs, byvoeglike naamwoorde, which is adjectives, and then adverbs, which is bywoorde. So we actually use words such as that. But the very important thing to do is that we shouldn't use too much of these words. Otherwise, the entire essay is going to consist only of adverbs and adjectives. Okay. Sorry, Fizana says, ma'am, I can't hear you. I don't know what's happened to my computer. Can you please? Okay, so listen to me quickly. My mute, I'm not muted. I'm unmuted. So make sure, and also let me just check the sound quickly. The volume, yeah, I'm on 100% volume. So guys, if you can't hear me, just check your sound settings. And then our host said here, hi, please let me know what the test has been uploaded to the website. It is been uploaded to the website. It is available. Okay, so in other words, the test is there. Okay, and then thank you, host. He says my sound is great. Okay, guys, so let's go on. Then the next one, gebruik jou sintuie or senses. So guys, after all, we have been blessed with senses such as hearing, seeing, smelling, touching. And those are the stuff that you can actually use when you write an essay. And if you remember correctly from Friday's lesson, there's actually a way that you can plan this via a spider chart. Okay, so there we go. Then, of course, one of the most important stuff when we write is doing research. I spoke to you on Friday with regards to this as well when we did the writing process. I know that you can't really do research when you're writing the test or an exam. However, as I said, have a broad general knowledge. That's one of the things that you should do. And then if you've got the opportunity to actually have access to internet or something like that, then do research before you actually write an essay. Moet 'n storielyn hê. So 'n verhalende opstel must have a storyline. Retoriese elemente soos spanningslyn, humor en personifikasie. Guys, so important. So when you do a narrative essay, use stuff such as rhetorical elements, you know, spanning, humor, use humor, personification, metaphor. Oh, and it's always so creative if a child use idioms to explain something. Very, very good idea. Then, of course, the next thing, maak 'n punt of statement indien jy verkies. Now, I've used the example with the other classes in the past. You can make a statement when you write a test. For instance, and this is only an example, please. when we stereotype, for instance, when we say only women can be teachers, which is absolutely wrong because men can also be teachers, if you understand what I'm saying. In other words, you can write your essay and the statement you make at the end is to say maybe that all people can be teachers. You understand? Or when they say only men, for instance, can be preachers, while women can also be preachers. That's a type of statement you're making. Okay. Then, of course, the next one, characters. A narrative essay, verhalende opstel, is telling a story, which means it should usually have characters. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person, it can be an animal. Then, chronologically. In other words, guys, you can actually, for instance, well, not can, you should write a story which has a logical structure. Um, uh, Events happened in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, you can jump from the present to the past if the past has something to do with something that happens now in the present. Then, reeks gebeure, in other words, a series of events that's taking place. And then interesting. Guys, interessant. If you write an essay, it should also be interesting for yourself. It doesn't help you writing an essay and it's not even interesting to you. Imagine that poor reader or marker that now has to write an uninteresting essay. That would just be terrible. Nee. Okay, so guys, please take a picture for me there so that you have this. Take a picture there. Okay. All right. Now, what we are going to do is I'm going to give you, oh, wait a minute. There was something going on there. Sorry. Oh my word, what have I done here? Okay. Quickly go back for me. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. The last thing there was verbeelding. And this refers to using your imagination when you're writing a verhalende opstel. Guys, you can write about any type of story. The man on the moon, for instance. New life that's found on Mars or Pluto. So you see, you can use your imagination. And now we are going to look at an example. It's very important to have an example. So I'm going to read this to you, and as I retranslate, of course, look how an introductory paragraph of a narrative essay can look like. Always write a title. Skielik was daar doodse stilte. Suddenly, it was silent. Dit was 'n koue, stormagtige nag. It was a cold and stormy night. Die donderweer was oorverdowend en die wind het om die hoeke van die huis gehuil. The thunder was loud and the wind cried around the corners of the house. Haal het op die dak gekletter. Hail made noises on the roof. Ek was tuis, alleen en bang. I was at home, alone and scared. Do you see now? This is a narrative essay. This is telling a story. After this introduction and title, I actually want to read more. What's going to happen? Nee. So that is an example. Take a picture. Important. Take a picture. And I got this from this research Yola site at the underneath. Okay, quickly indicate to me if you guys have taken a picture of verhalende opstel. And the most important question, do you understand a verhalende of narrative essay? Important, tell me. Okay, yes, ma'am. Yep. Okay, great. I'm so happy to hear that. Okay, so guys, I'm going on. So that was a narrative essay. Now we're going to look at a descriptive essay, a beskrywende opstel. This is the type of opstel where you beskryf iemand of iets aan die leser. You are describing someone or something to the reader. Jy skep 'n beeld of prent met woorde. You are almost drawing a picture with words that you're writing. Then gebruik idiome en beeldspraak. Again, as with the verhalende opstel, use idioms and imagery, guys. Sintuie or senses. Again, what you hear, what you smell, especially with the beskrywende opstel. You can write about life on Mars, for instance, and you can tell me, what do you see? What do you smell? How does it smell on Mars? How does it feel when you touch the ground, for instance? Do you understand what I'm saying here? It can also tell a story. Write on a practical matter, guys, so that it's easy for you to read as well. Be creative, guys. Write something extraordinary. Use connotative and denotative means. That's letterlik en figuurlik. Gebruik byvoeglike naamwoorde, adjectives en bywoorde, adverbs, but never use too much, even in a descriptive essay. Kan fiksie of realisties wees. You can write fiction or something realistic. You can give your own opinion and create a picture. Guys, so jy kan jou opinie gee en teken 'n prent met woorde. Take a picture. Let me just take this away. Take a picture. Okay, now of course we look at an example. Okay, so the example here. Again, an introductory paragraph and the title, Die Karoo, the Karoo. Verskroeiende sand, burning sand. Klein val bossies en bome, wat trek is van die namiddagson. Plants and trees. It's covered with the late afternoon sun. Die hemel is 'n diep blou koepel en die son 'n vuurbal. He's describing the heavens and the sun. Leweloos, sou jy wou dink. Lifeless, you would think. Dink weer, think again. Die Karoo het 'n lewe van sy eie. The Karoo has a life of its own. Do you see that he's describing little stuff like the sand, the trees, the heavens, and he's saying that people might think the Karoo doesn't have life, but think again, it's got a life of its own. Take a picture. Okay, and then my question, of course, do you all understand a descriptive of a beskrywende essay? Remember to stop me if I have to repeat something for you, hey? Okay, I just want to hear, are you all with me? Do you all understand? Yes, boy Pulu, I've got that one. Thank you so much. Guys, for those of you who didn't confirm your email addresses, please confirm it now. I need your email addresses for the assessments, guys. All right. Okay, so boy Pelu says yes, ma'am. Then I'm going on. Now we get to what we call a bespiegelende opstel, a speculative essay. Very interesting essay to write. You're speculating on something. So first of all, jy dink oor iets en jy filosofeer, you philosophize about something. Jou opinie, siening en emosionele reaksie en gevoelens kan gegee word. So say for instance you're writing on the topic of COVID-19, then you're going to give your opinion, how you see things, your emotional, how you feel about it, your feelings, for instance, about how this is affecting our country. Dit moet oor 'n persoonlike ervaring gaan. Jy moet kan oortuig, convince. It must be about a personal thing that's happening. Something that you've maybe encountered in your life before. For instance, guys, again, COVID-19, how is this affecting you? You must convince the reader, you must convince me of how this is affecting you. Nie oordrewe nie. Do not almost want to say overcompensate or make it worse than it is. Then dink daaroor. Think about what you are writing. In any of the essays, guys, don't write nonsense. Think about what you are writing. Gebruik aanhalings of quotes. This is a very creative way of writing. Maybe start your essay with a quote from what maybe somebody famous said before you go on. Not even somebody famous. It can be a quote from say, for instance, your mom or dad as well. Jy mag beskryf. You can also describe when you are writing a bespiegelende opstel. Logies and systematies. Logical and systematic, guys. Write logically, it will be understandable for you and for me. Gebruik persoonlike voornaamwoorde, personal pronouns such as ek en jy, myne en syne. And then there is an example. So quickly take a picture, then we will go on. Okay, and then we go to the example, of course. Now, look at this example. Also introduction with the title, Die oomblik van waarheid, the moment of truth. Almal beleef die een of ander tyd, daardie oomblik wat 'n mens se lewe totaal verander. All of us, at some stage in our life, experience that moment that changed your lives. 'n Oomblik wat jy wen nooit moes gebeur het nie. A moment that you wished would never came true. 'n Oomblik wat jy nie kan vermy of kan van ontsnap nie. A moment that you cannot vermy or can escape from. Die oomblik van waarheid. The moment of truth. And look here, guys. The title is repeated in the introductory paragraph. So here this person is saying that he's talking about a moment of truth. He's bespiegeling, he's speculating that is not something that we can at all miss. Okay, oordrewe. Let me just quickly Google Translate for your boy Pelu. Usually I've got my Google Translate open because sometimes my English leaves me. I'm going to give it to you now. It's when you exaggerate. Okay, no problem, boy Pelu. Okay, so take a picture quickly. I'm going to count till 5, then I'm going on. Where's Khoma Peli this morning? Oh, he's not in class. That's strange. Okay. All right, guys, then I'm going on. Then we go to one of my favorite types of essays, and that is an argumentative essay, an argumenterende essay. This is subjective because you're going to give your opinion on something and you're going to try and convince the reader. Jy neem jou eie standpunt in en probeer die leser oortuig. Jy verdedig 'n saak. You are defending a case. Eie mening en moet oorspronklik weergegee word. You give your opinion and it must be given in an interesting way, for instance. You don't want to lose your reader. Argumenteer. You must argue. Not fight, argue. Teenwoordige tyd. You write in the present time. Dan gebruik woorde wat rede, oorsaak, opeenvolging, voegwoorde, logiese opeenvolging aandui. Soos byvoorbeeld, dit bewys dat, maar, doch, omdat, daarom. In English, use words that indicate reason, cause, sequence, conjunctions, logische sequence, logical sequence, such as it proves that, but yet, because, therefore. And then the last thing, of course, logisch, guys. You want to write in a logical way. You want people at the end of the essay to choose your side of the story, to understand what you've written, and maybe choose your side of the story as the correct way. Take a picture, please. All right, so I'm going on to the example. And look here, they're asking us here, this is not the example yet. They're just giving us something. Why do we argue? Jy wil persone oortuig van jou standpunt. We argue because you want to convince people of what you say is correct. Jy wil hê mense moet dieselfde oor iets dink. You want people to think the same way you do. 'n Argumenterende opstel wil presies dieselfde doen. Dit wil oortuig, ooreed of beïnvloed. Okay, so that's why we write argumentative essays, because you want to convince the reader. You want to have an influence on their thinking process. And then here is an example for you. Tieners. So a very bold title. One word, tieners, teenagers. Tieners is die ondankbaarste spesie op hierdie aardbol. Teenagers are the most unthankful species on this earth. That is a very bold statement. This person is starting his or her essay boldly. He's making a statement. And then from there, he's going to argue. Take a picture. Oopsie. Going back for you to the... Sorry. There you go. Take a picture. Okay. All right, guys. Let's quickly just recap. Do you understand what I've done so far? Boy Pelu says, teenagers don't behave like that. I disagree. Now you see, now you can write an essay where you argue teenagers are not the most unthankful species on the earth. Now, I must say, I also agree with you. If I look back at my teenage years, I did appreciate a few things. So yes. Okay, so Mina says he's okay. So then I'm going to go on. Please just ask me to go back if you struggle. Now, this is also a very... Fizana says, like what? I appreciated the fact that I had parents, first of all. Yeah, I'm as she, lol. Okay, guys, listen, let's focus here. The next one, a beredenerende opstel. This is also called an argumentative essay, but with the first argumentative essay, there you want the reader to choose your side. That's the difference with a beredenerende essay. Here, you give both sides of the case. Both sides, beide kante van die saak word gegee. This is an objective essay. You're not going to give feelings here. You're going to write facts. Jy hoef nie die leser te oortuig nie, die leser besluit self watter kant hy wil kies. You do not need to convince the reader of something. He or she must decide for themselves which side they're going to take. So that's why with the beredenerende opstel, you give both sides of the story. Then, gee die probleem reeds in die inleidende paragraaf. You, in the very beginning of the essay, in that introduction, you already state the problem. Again, logic, emotieve taal word gebruik. So you are going to use a bit of emotional language, but yeah, we'll give there. Jy redeneer jou standpunt. You will argue what you think, your argument. However, remember both sides should be given. Navorsing, of course, guys, if you write about the economic problems that we currently experience in South Africa, you need some research, and you must give your side of the story as well as the other side of the story. You write in die teenwoordige tyd, in the present tense. Okay, take a picture, then I'll give you an example. Okay, and then the example, of course. Hieronder volg 'n voorbeeld van 'n inleidingsparagraaf vir die beredenerende opstel. Tegnologie het ons lewens verbeter. Technology improved our lives. Sommige mense is vasoortuig daarvan dat tegnologie die duiwel van self is. Some people believe that technology is the devil himself. Terwyl ander weer glo dat dit absoluut fantasties is, while others believe that it's absolutely fantastic. Almal moet egter saamstem. All of us should agree. Deesdae is dit moeilik om jou wêreld sonder tegnologie voor te stel. These days, it is very difficult for us to imagine our lives without technology. Niemand kan tegnologie blameer vir wat verkeerd loop in die wêreld nie. Nobody can blame technology for what's wrong in the world. 'n Mens moet eerder die mense wat tegnologie verkeerd gebruik daarvoor blameer. We should rather blame those who use technology wrong for the faults in this world. Now, guys, look here. Some people this, others that. Some people this, oh, well, then we say, but we must agree. Again, some people say this, other people say that. Do you see there's constantly giving two ways or two sides of the story, and that is what a beredenerende opstel is. Quickly take a picture and then ask if something is not clear, please. Okay. Guys, before we go on, are you fine? Do you understand so far? Look, luckily for you, this presentation is already uploaded. And of course, when you write an essay or have to write an essay, maybe you can just go and have a look at it. But yeah, it's important that you tell me if you don't understand, guys, okay? All right, I'm going on. Then, we're not done yet. I'm going to now do an exercise with you guys. You must have taken pictures now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share something with you now. This is what I've been also looking so much forward to since Friday. Now look at these pictures here. There's a picture that clearly shows us about air pollution. Then a traveling picture. Then a group of friends. Now you can use any one of these pictures and write me an introductory paragraph of any one of the essays. You can tell a story narrative, you can describe, it's descriptive, you can argue something, you can you can also beredeneer something, you can write any type of essay, but what I want to see is give me a title and an introduction. Remember what I said to you on Friday, an introduction paragraph should not be more than 5 sentences. It can be 1 sentence, but not more than 5. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Then in this 5 minutes, I want you to write me, to type somewhere, or to read it if you can over the mic, a short title and an introduction about one of these pictures. And remember, we participate in this class. Okay, so try your best. And your 5 minutes starts now. I have also got one for you guys that I have written. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes and you can give it to us. Okay, there's 2 minutes left. Okay, guys, a minute. Remember, you type it into the chat box. And it's just an example. You can, it's really not, there's not a right and a wrong here. It's just an introduction. 1 line, 2 lines, doesn't matter. Just not more than 5 sentences. And of course, a title. I'm going to start by reading you mine. So mine is, the title is Wilde Woeste Reis. And then the introduction is, om te reis was nog altyd 'n droom. To travel was always a dream. Om verskillende tale, kulture en mense te ervaar is nie net 'n droom gewees nie, maar 'n moed. To experience languages, cultures and people were not just a dream, but it has to be something I had to do. Min het ek geweet, hierdie ervarings sou my lewe onherroepelik verander. Little did I know that these things would change my life forever. And that is my introduction. What do you say? Can I have an example? Who's got the courage to share this? Guys, 6 minutes left. Can I have one example, please? Who's got? Okay, I'm sure that after this lesson you can all do something. Let's see. Who will share? Come on. There's loads of my kids are here. I want to see who is going to share. Come on, guys. Okay. Listen to me carefully. I see that you are a bit shy now. You don't ever have to be shy in this class. It's very important that we participate because I could have now given you feedback and said what it is that you could have maybe improved on. In the other classes where I did this lesson, I had very interesting topics and stuff, and the kids were really creative, and there was even nothing that I could tell them they should do better. So I'm sure that you guys would have rocked this as well. But now, are you all guys, are all of you ready for today's assessment? Yeah, I want to know if you are ready for today's assessment. Please indicate. Okay. Okay. Listen, guys. I see some you are all right with the assessment today. Remember to submit it on time. And then, of course, if I haven't got your email address, you know what is my email address. I'm going to just show it to you on the screen quickly. There is my email address. Everything that you guys need for the test that you're writing is on the drive link that I've given you there. So everything that you need. There is PowerPoints on verbs and on other parts of speech and so on. So you guys will be fine. All right. Email me so that you can confirm your email address if you haven't done it already in this lesson. Masks on. Sanitize your hands. Good luck. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.